Good evening. Happy first Tuesday of, wait, no, it's not. It's the second Tuesday, isn't it? Anyway, it's our first team call of the month. So, and our first official team call as a Diamond team. So that's pretty special. Thank you so much for taking the time to hop on. I'm really excited about tonight. I love these calls because you get to hear from people on our team and hear their tips and their stories of what is working for them. And it's just super, super inspiring. And I hope you could hear that song in the background, but that is one of my absolute favorites. So when that first came out, I went to the theaters. I don't know if you've seen The Greatest Showman. If you haven't, you really should watch it. Like ASAP and like on repeat, because it is so inspiring. I love that movie. So when it came out in the theaters, I went to see it, and I remember sitting there. I think I was Ruby. I was Ruby, Senior Gold or Ruby. And I remember and like crying and like, oh my goodness, I can do this. And so I've always just loved this soundtrack. And anyway, so I thought I'd play it to kind of start off our call. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it, or watch it tonight. Okay, so we're gonna start off with a little game, because I thought that would be fun. I have this that I'm going to give away. It's this adorable bag that says Plexus all over it. And it's such a fun color, and it comes with, if you went to Lear's Retreat, you might have the same bag, but it comes with this notebook with a pen. So just some fun swag. I'm giving it away tonight. So I want you to put in the comments a big, crazy, insane dream or goal of yours that Plexus is going to help you achieve. So big, crazy, scary, that doesn't even seem possible goal. Put it in the comments, which can be scary to even put in the comments because it can be scary to say it out loud, but put it in the comments, and that is going to earn you an entry, and I'll draw in a little bit. Build your dream home. Yes, I love that. So fun. I love all these. They make me super happy. If you haven't made a dream board yet and put these on there, you should. Even if you make one on your phone and put it like on your backdrop or something, making like a digital dream board, those are super, super fun. Love all of these. Okay, if you just hopped on, put in the comments your big, crazy dream that Plexus is going to help you achieve that sounds impossible or sounds crazy. That sounds like how could you ever achieve that? And I'm gonna put your name in a drawing, and we're going to give away some fun swag. Okay, so next, I just want to talk to you all just for 2 minutes about convention, because we have been planning the funnest things for this, you guys. Makes me so excited. It's gonna be like a legit convention, just on the like smaller size compared to like the Plexus, but it's going to give you the convention feel. We're having like lanyards with name tags, like exactly like you would have if you went to a Plexus convention. And we're talking about some super fun things. We might have a photo booth there where you can get your photo, like fun photos where they print out the strips. We're going to have like a welcome reception at the pool with just all kinds of, it's just going to be super, super fun. And just full of community, getting to meet people on our team that you haven't had a chance to meet in person. And then of course the training is going to be like none other. So there's actually about, I want to say like, I think 12 to 15 jewels, mostly diamonds, putting on this convention. And so we're going to do a jewel like Q&A, like a jewel panel. I think it's going to be a diamond panel that's like outside of like the Plexus schedule of the training they're doing. And so it's going to be in person. You get to hear from jewels like in person doing a Q&A. You do not want to miss it. If it's like at all possible for you to come, please come, because you will not regret it. Convention is one of the number one things that I know that has helped me to become Diamond, because I've never missed a convention since it started. Even when I went virtual, I still watched the training last year virtually. But now, even though Plexus is doing it virtually, we're doing an in-person event. You cannot, like, it is so much different than doing the virtual, which you all know that, but it's just, there's something super special about it. It's going to be in Scottsdale. It's at this wonderful hotel. If you've never been to Scottsdale, it's super fun. It's like near Old Town Scottsdale, which is really fun. The food's really good. anyway, it's just going to be a blast. And I know it will help build your belief like crazy. And you will come away just with more tools in your toolbox and just refreshed, encouraged, and inspired and ready to just like not end, but just like, I guess, go into what's almost like the last half of the 2021 and just finish it really, really, really strong. And yeah, anyway, so if you haven't registered, go register because it's filling up super fast. Like I don't even know when it will be full, but it's going to be full really fast. And once it's full, it's full. So we have room for 720 people. I want to say, I think we're around 550 maybe. Double check on that. So it's $50 to register for the in-person, and then you register for like the Plexus part. So it's $49 to register for the virtual Plexus, and then it's $50 for ours. So it's total $99. The rooms are $89, I think, a night, which is really good. We got it to them to come down a lot. You can even bunk in with people and split the costs. So it's pretty cost effective. The most expensive part would probably be your flight to get there. But it can be your tax write-off next year because it's for your business, and all your travel expenses can be a tax write-off. So the first 4 years of going to convention, it wasn't easy. It was not a hardship. I'm trying to think of the word. It wasn't easy to come up with the money and figure out the expenses, the travel, the baby care, all the things. But I just made it work somehow, just prayed that it would work and just made that sacrifice of the expenses and all that, even when I couldn't afford it, because I knew it was really, really, really important, and it has paid off. So it's super worth it, you guys. Okay, so to start us off with this, like the training portion of this call, we have Carolyn on here. You guys, did you see on the team page, she is our top enroller for March. She added 18 new ambassadors. Like, I can't even, like the most I've added, I think was 12 or 13. And even then that was like a huge stretch. So 18 just blows my mind. And so she has agreed to hop on, and I'm so thankful. She is going to share a few of her tips with us on how she did that. So Carolyn, go ahead. Oh wait, hang on, you're muted. One sec. Do you see where it says to unmute?
Got it. Is that better? Okay. So I actually go by Betsy. Carolyn's just my name. So anyway, I'm Betsy. Only my aunt calls me Carolyn, so it's fine. So actually, I was probably just as blown away as everyone else was. I was shocked that people were calling me and messaging me, and it just kind of happened that way. So I'm very thankful and honored that like March was kind of crazy, amazing. So I guess when Joanna asked me about like top tips, I was like, oh, I don't even know how that happened. Like I was all trying to figure out, what was it that happened that caused all of that to happen. And probably like the first thing I think I thought of was I didn't have a story to tell. Like I hadn't been taking Plexus regularly for very long, and I didn't feel like I had the same stories that you find in like supplements and stories and supplements, or where these life-changing things happen. And I was like, I don't have anything to tell people. And so I just like I ended up joining I think it's Jennifer Leith's intermittent fasting challenges. And one of the things in the challenge was to post every day about your journey. So I just started doing that because that's the only thing I knew how to do. And I thought it was kind of wild, just as I'm posting each day, I'd like do day 1, day 2, day 3. And people just started like, like magnets, like what's going on? What's going to happen tomorrow? Those kinds of things. It just really piqued their curiosity, like what's going on, in your life. And I would do before and afters, and wins and failures, things like that. But it was consistent. Like every day I was almost like journal entries, like a virtual journal entry. And people were coming back each day to like figure out where I'm at, what was going on. And I got a lot of inquiries from that, just people saying, wow, I'm seeing your changes. I want that for myself. And I think the biggest thing is that everybody is looking for help in some area. And it resonates with certain people, your story does, and consistently like taking them on a trip with you, like they're really following your journey, and a lot of them are hoping for the same results that you have, and they may never even reach out to you, which I'm going to get to in a second. But that's probably the biggest thing. If you don't have a story, start a story. Like that's kind of how I had to do it. The other thing is with doing the intermittent fasting challenges, I have incorporated that into my sales. So when I message people, I tell them I'm doing both intermittent fasting, plexus, and how well they work together. And it's kind of a little bit of a breather for people if they're not quite ready. I can say, well, I'll still send you the intermittent fasting information and you can start on that and at least get started. And so usually that's a hook for them to like kind of pique their interest. Like if they're not ready for plexus yet, they'll start the fasting. Well, then I started throwing them into a group chat. So that's something for everyone that signs up with me. I throw them in a group chat, and that's more for like customer care. But I also put people who just want to do intermittent fasting in my group chat. And that way they're able to see, like, because we check in the group chat almost daily, like, how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? Any questions about your products or any questions about fasting? And so suddenly, like, people who are just doing the fasting are seeing all these results from people who are doing both. And I've had several people contact me saying, okay, I think I want to try Plexus too, because they wanted those same results. And I think intermittent fasting isn't as scary for people because they've heard of it outside of Plexus. So they're more willing to try that. And then when I tell them how well it works together, then they're like, I'm kind of interested in that. So that's what I think has really helped me last month, was really just putting people on at ease. Like, if you're not ready for this, let's try this first. And then as they, it didn't take long, like a couple weeks maybe, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to do Plexus too. So that was kind of fun. Um, let's see. There was something else I was gonna say. Oh, okay. And then I guess the other thing would be like, if you can incorporate, something else, if even if you don't do intermittent fasting, but something. Say I'm doing Plexus and maybe I'm exercising, or I'm doing this. It kind of is a draw for people, so you can kind of coach them and help them, make them feel more comfortable. The other thing what I would say is like keep sharing, even if you feel like no one's liking your post or watching your post or your journey, because probably almost half of the people I signed up last month never liked one of my posts. They never commented, they never liked it. Just out of the blue, they messaged me like, hey, I've been following your journey and I really need help. Another example of that was a lady that worked with my husband. She came up to him just this week and was like, I'm getting ready to have a surgery, but as soon as my surgery's done, I want to get a hold of your wife and I want to start Plexus. And she's like, she's never liked my post, she's never commented anything. And I've had probably at least 7 or 8 people like that who I was just like, what? You don't know who's watching. And a lot of people I've talked to that even haven't signed up yet, but have said, I've been following your journey and, I'm so excited for the changes you're seeing and I'm kind of interested. And they never ever commented on my post. So that was kind of neat. So I guess that would be my encouragement, is just keep posting because people are watching even if they don't say anything. And I think that's probably about all I have to share, but hopefully that's helpful.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you so much. I love, 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 love how you incorporate the intermittent fasting as part of helping people get started, or just all of that. Because I think too, what is really cool about that is that it shows them like Plexus is just a tool. It's not some magic pill or whatever. It's just a tool, just like intermittent fasting is a tool. And I think that's what helps put them at ease maybe too, to finally give it a try, because they're seeing like you're not claiming it to be this like miracle thing. And so I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's obviously working. And I love too how you brought up like none of them even liked your posts. And so people are watching, just sharing your journey. So important. Thank you so much, Betsy, for sharing. Okay, next up, we are going to have Tabitha share a little of her story. Okay, because this just blew my mind. Like, she has the coolest story. I just love Tabitha. She's the sweetest. If you haven't met her in person, you need to come to convention because you get to meet her in person. And so she she showed like a year to year comparison of her paycheck from March 2020 to March 21. March 2021. And it was insane. Like it grew by 10 times, you guys, 10 times. Like she was a gold ambassador, right? Tabitha, around 100 pay points in March 2020. And now she ended March 2021 with over 1,000 pay points. So she grew her pay point, like her entire business just grew like over 10 times in 1 year. Like mind blown. Anyway, so she gets to share a little bit of her journey and kind of how that looked for her. And just from March 20, like why do I keep saying 20? March 2020 to now, and just kind of what she's experienced, and if she has any tips for us. So Tab, go for it.
Thank you. You're so sweet, Joanna. I am really excited to see everybody at convention, and as many of you who can hop on who have not gotten there yet, like Joanna said. So this will be my first convention. Last year I would have gone, but everything got shut down. Well, actually, last year I wouldn't have been able to go because it was our first family vacation that we had had since my husband and I had been married, because he and I got married, and on our wedding night we got pregnant, and so we were just baby after baby after baby. And any of his vacation time he was taking to be in the hospital with me, that that first week the baby was born, and so he couldn't go on vacation. So for his birthday in 2019, I asked all of his friends to send a little video clip of what they remember, like their favorite memory of Richard, whether it was embarrassing or touching or whatever. And I had my brother-in-law put together a video compilation of all those things. And then all he wanted was money toward a vacation fund. So I didn't do any gifts for him. It was just like, please send in what you can. $5, $10, it all adds up, right? So I had that fund, and I had been working on it for a couple of months, and it was around the same time that I started Plexus. And I actually used money from his birthday fund in order to purchase my first welcome pack in September 2019. Well, I was working 4 part-time jobs at the time, teaching piano lessons, cleaning the church for 10 hours a week, and then I was babysitting 30 to 40 hours a week between a friend of mine and my nieces and nephews who would come. And so it was a lot, and I had 3 babies on top of that. Brittany was 4 months old when I started my Plexus journey, and when Deb was talking to me, she was just like, okay, out of those 4 jobs, what would you give up first? We're going to work toward being able to compensate that. So I had a really huge why at the time, and it was just like I was gung-ho. I went gold within the first 7 weeks of being with Plexus, and then came the holidays. I didn't have a lot of money for the holidays. I knew other people didn't, and so I kind of backed down on reaching out. And honestly, that bred fear in my heart, because I got away for like the end of November, all of December, and then coming into January, which you'll find out in this business, January, February, March are like the slowest times. Well, December, January, February are like the slowest times for the business whatsoever. And Jen Leith reminded me of that this last month. She's like, I don't think we tell people enough that those really are the slowest times of the year. And then people get their taxes back and they get going, and then this year everybody got a stimulus, and so that has helped a lot, I think, play into the role of being able to get back up, and then people are ready for vacation. And so springtime is coming, sunshine's in the air, everything just sounds better, looks better, they're ready to spend money on themselves and get their beach bodies together, right? Well, March of last year, I had actually won a gold retreat, because I didn't know Joanna, Katie, and Deb were hosting this, but because of how quickly things came about, I was able to go on that retreat, and I got to meet Jen Leith, which I was super excited about, because when I ranked gold so quickly, she personally sent me a letter with a little pair of earrings. I will never throw away those earrings, no matter how tarnished they get, like, because they're just these cute little pink feathers. I never thought it'd be something I'd wear, but I love statement earrings. And it was perfect, because she's like, I see you, you are seen, you are valued, and you are going far. You are a diamond in the making. And she put that belief into my heart. And then Joanna, she sent me a little card with an emerald, and she's like, good job on what you're doing. I'll see you in Maui. So she put that vision in my mind of like, yes, you're going to be an emerald and you're going to be on vacations with me. Jen Leith, she put that belief in me. So I was really excited to meet both Joanna and Jen Leith in person. And then I got to meet the Robinson sisters as well, Laura and Donna Lee. And I was just broken on that trip. Like, I don't know how much the women there remember what happened, but I just like poured out my heart for probably an hour. Like, guys, I don't know what to do with this. My husband is so skeptical about this. I am working myself to the ground. I have these kids. People aren't paying me for my jobs. And, just I'm not making a lot here. I'm not making a lot there, but I'm literally working for 5 part-time jobs. I have a vision for Plexus. I want this to work out for me. Like, I don't know what's going on. No one really necessarily had an answer for me, but I felt heard. I was able to just share my heart, and they did give me advice, but at the same time, the person I wanted the advice from, Jen Lee, she just kept her mouth shut and she's like, "I'm praying for you." She wouldn't give me advice, and I was just like, "Help me." But she didn't. She let me figure it out. And I feel so much more empowered because of that, because I found the answers I needed. I found the strength inside of me to be able to work to get to where I needed to be. And being on the team I'm on, Joanna has been through a lot of struggles. Like, I joined the team when Joanna's dad had his accident and he passed away, and she was posting every single day on social media. She was still interactive with our team. And I'm just like, how in the world does she have the strength to work this business while pregnant and just having lost a family member? Like, that was really, really intense for me because my parents had just gone through a divorce, so I felt like I lost my parents. I haven't spoken to my dad since 2018, so I do feel like I lost a parent as well. I've had to deal with grieving over the loss of the baby we had in 2018. Like, stopping myself from listening to all of the lies that I had growing up about my body image, about leadership, about my mothering skills, about failing my husband, just all these different things. Like, God gives us those lessons that we need in our life at the right time. And Plexus was introduced to me back when I was pregnant with my second son. And I didn't start back then. And I honestly think it's because God knew I needed Plexus then in 2019 to help me grow spiritually, to help me grow mentally, to help me heal physically. And my journey has looked so different from others people's in their health journey, but I have a belief in the company and in the team and in the leadership we have. Honestly, I think my biggest tip is just stay teachable and listen to the people around you. This is hard work, but you can do it. You can fit it in with a full-time job. You can fit it in working 4 part-time jobs and raising 3 babies, staying up most of the night nursing your baby, helping your husband get his food for the day. Like, I have to start my day around 7 o'clock in the morning, no matter how little sleep I had. And you can do it. So it's not that Tabitha Taramy has something special. It's just this was the right time for me. So if you are not growing in your business and you're feeling like something is holding you back, you have to search inside what it is you are doing to actually stop yourself from growing in different areas. Whether that's taking a step back from like building your business aggressively and working on your marriage, or whether that is learning how to speak to your husband in a way to communicate how to take care of the house, what responsibilities he's okay with you giving up for a while. When you're pushing for a goal, it's gonna take a lot of work, and leaning into your uplines is huge because they're gonna have different experiences, they're gonna have different outlooks, they're gonna have different advice in order to give to you to push through whatever that obstacle is. Guys, my daughter woke up, did not go down for her nap today, opened up her poop and just smeared it all over her bedroom. Like, I have just had fight after fight after fight after fight, and I'm going for Emerald, and I still have not lost my joy in the little things because over the last year, from March of last year to March of this year, growing my team exponentially, having more responsibility in a leadership position, taking times to take a few months back from personal recruitment to be able to grow in my personal development to be the right kind of leader I needed to be for people upcoming. Mariah came on. She added 17 people last month. 21 over her whole team. 2 of them were level 2s. One of them was a level 3. She just started doing that duplication. Betsy, she added 18 people personally, not to mention anyone that she's going to probably be adding as level 2s this month, because she's being such an example of how to share genuinely. And she leaned into her uplines. I feel like all of us who do have really great success lean into our uplines the most. Have them identify what is keeping you from growing, and then actually apply what they are seeing, whether it's with your posting, whether it's with personal growth, whether it's something in your marriage, or depending on your Enneagram type, what you just actually need to tidy up for yourself. Do that. So be teachable. And I think the best thing is just lean into your uplines in order to be taught what they have already walked through, because if they haven't walked through it, they've heard somebody's story who's walked through what you're going through, and they're going to direct you to the right person in order to continue building that belief in you to get to where you are. So it's completely doable no matter where you're at. You just got to be the girl who's bigger than the excuses, and you have to be the one running for what a friend said it to me last week. In her Christian life, she's getting away from like feeling like she's in the middle of legalism, and she's like, my only goal for my life is to stand in front of God and him to say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. I think all of you understand that on this call, because we are a very strong Christian community. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. I want him to say that to me on the earthly side, and I think that's who our uplines are for us, to show us what we are doing right. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. And whether that is in your family life, in your marriage, in your home, in your team, do it for the Lord and have the right purpose for it. Not as much a selfish thing, as much as like, how can I get there, to hear those words. Yeah, poor Joe, she's got the baby.
Sorry. Oh, Tab, that was so good. I just so appreciate you sharing your heart and being vulnerable to share your story. Oh, I'm sorry. I was fingers crossed I would get through one call without a baby coming in, but nope, it didn't happen. This is the night my husband works, so whatever, we'll deal with it. So, okay, I wanted to kind of go through a little bit of just what you shared. It was just all so good. I remember that retreat. I remember all of that, and just praying so hard for you, and just being so, I don't know, just having a burden for you and your story, and just wanting this so badly for you. And you're going to be Emerald this month. Like, what even? That's just so exciting, and just incredible that through it all, you've stayed consistent and kept going even. And I think too, like, well, I know like your why is just really strong. And when you have that why to draw from, even though, like you said, like you're up with babies, and no matter how little sleep you got, you still have to get up and do the things. And that why keeps you going. And okay, sorry guys. Your why has to be super strong, and your why is very, very strong. And I love all of that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, next up he's teething, you guys, so I'm sorry. Next up, just one sec. Okay. Lastly, we have Tamara on here, and she's going to share a little bit with us about customer care, because you guys, she's going to be gold this month, which is so exciting. And she had every single person on her team last month qualified with 100 PV, which if you've been in this business even just a few months, you know that's a huge feat. And so she has the bomb customer care for that to happen. And so I just asked her to hop on and share just a few tips on what that looks like for her, and just taking care of her people. Because once the work really begins once you help sign someone up, not signing them up. Like the real work begins after they click enroll or click join, and their welcome pack's on the way, because that is when they need the most support and encouragement to get to their 90 days. Because we know if someone will just give this 90 days of consistency, like they're going to keep going because they will have seen results. Like I believe that with all of my heart. If someone takes the products correctly, they listen to their friend who helped them get started and do it for 90 days consistently, they're going to see something happen. So Tamara, go ahead and share with us a few of your tips. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Yep. All right, so my computer's being noisy. I feel like I'm going to go backwards this month because I already know that I'm not going to have 2 people getting 100 PV. So, but they didn't go down with a fight. Let me tell you, I keep messaging them. Like I keep telling people who ask me, I'm like, I don't leave people alone. Like I'm a crazy lady about it. So, but the biggest reason I do it is because, well, first of all, they sign up with us, right? So we want to make sure we're there for them. But there's so many times that I either get like a skincare or all the things that I've ever tried, and nobody even asks if I ever received my product. Nobody asks me how it's going, all the things. So that's why I'm so like, you got to do it. Obviously when they first get their welcome pack, I always send them the 7 things about Plexus, about the detox, water, and all of that. If you haven't seen them, we have them. I have them. Everybody has them, I think, in this chat. They are awesome to send to people because it just sets them up right, I guess. So then I always like to stress, because I heard it, it always takes in natural healing 3 months to see results, like big results, and a month for every year you have been struggling with something. And I always put that in there. I always make sure they know it's not a quick fix and that they need consistency to stay where they're at. So I send that like while it's shipping. And so they usually tell me when they've gotten their product, and I always give them those first 3 days on that schedule of the triplex. After the 3 days, I always ask them, how do you like the pink drink? Is it just, how do you like it? Is it going to be something that you like? And it's usually yes. So, and I've had a couple of people, that's interesting. And I'm like, you can switch it up to make it how you want it to be. So then let's see, just to make sure they reach out. Okay. Sorry, I had to like write this down because I don't feel like I had a process, but I do, I guess. So I just make sure they're on the right track through, because I reached out to somebody and they didn't realize, like on the schedule, that you have to look across the schedule to make sure that you're adding in the right amount of things as you go. And so I always make sure that they're doing that right. And I really stress to reach out if they have problems, like through the detox, obviously is the hardest thing to get through. And so I make sure, like, if you're feeling like you can't make it through, make sure you reach out to me, because I can usually talk you off the ledge, is what I tell everybody. And so towards the end of the 20-day schedule, I always ask if they have noticed any changes. And I usually say, have you noticed anything? Like usually everybody says their sleep has gotten better. And so I say, have you noticed your sleep? Have you noticed more energy? Or I just make sure that they realize, like, if you are sleeping better, this stuff is working. And so if you can just push through the detox and get through all the things in the first few days, that you can make it through. And so after after a few weeks, I just, like, it depends on the relationship with people. Usually I'm fairly close with them, that I can check in with them more and just make sure that they know that you're not going to just be like, okay, cool, she's 20 days in, see you later. Hopefully you have fun. So I just feel like building that trusting relationship that you're still going to be there through, even after the 20 days and even to the 3 months and beyond, is so huge. I always send stories and supplements, like third-party validation usually gets people through the tough parts. I either, like the other day, I had to reach out to Tabitha and Brooke and just be like, what should I tell them, because ended up being with her gallbladder and stuff, and it's just like making sure, like, you tell them and then it's just say, I am going to ask my upline and see what she says, just like that. I don't know everything, and I will get to the end of what you're struggling with. And so I think that's about it, is, I guess.
Oh, that was so good. Thank you. I love how just on top of it you are with your people. And I love that you utilize your upline to help, like if you need help, like how do I do this, and getting tips from them, and that third party validation, that is huge. So you are just awesome at that. Way to go. Thank you for sharing. And don't get too, and know too that like attrition is part of what we do. Because you said, you know, I'm going to go backwards this month, but it's not backwards. It's just normal. Like it's just part of it. So last month when we went diamond, we had about 1,150 people qualified, and we had over 2,000 people not qualified. So that just shows you like it's normal. It's part of it. Like, I mean, yes, you can always be learning and developing skills and trying to be better at attrition, you know, keeping attrition from happening, and you're doing great. So you're doing awesome. Okay, you guys, that is about the end of our call. We're going to do the giveaway really quick that we did in the beginning. So all of you who commented, one sec. I'm going to draw your name. Just one sec. Okay, so I put all your names in a wheel spinner and it's spinning. So we'll see who won the bag. Oh, it's Tabitha. Woohoo! All right, Tabitha, you are the winner. Yay! I loved all of y'all's big, crazy, scary dreams that Plexus is going to help you achieve. And I just wanted to leave you all really quick with this quote because I found it the other day when I was making a post, and I had never heard it said quite like this, and I loved it. And so it says, I accumulated small plus consistent, okay, let me start over. I accumulated small plus consistent habits. Sorry. I know, I'm sorry. I accumulated small plus consistent habits that ultimately led to results that were unimaginable when I started. And that has been my journey. I know that's been like Tab's journey. Just that consistency, you guys, is where it's at. Like just doing, like showing up. He has a really bad rash from his teething, so that's why he's crying. Just showing up every day somehow in your business, no matter what. Like, and that, like when everything happened with my dad, like Tab was saying, like I wasn't 100%, like it wasn't on top of all the things, doing all the things. I was just doing something because I knew. I know, it's okay. I knew that it's way harder to get started again when you stop, but it's a lot easier to just do something every day than to stop completely. And Yes, I know. Those small things you're doing, they all add up into huge changes over time. And that has been true for me, for so many of us. And so if you feel like, man, I just didn't do anything today, but if you made a post, you did something. If you sent a message, you did something. If you did customer care, like you did something, and tomorrow's going to be a new day. It's going to be a better day. I'm not saying we use that as an excuse to just not do the things we need to be doing to hit our goals. But you do need to give yourself some grace at times, because we know like life is crazy and sometimes we just don't have that perfect day that we want to get all the things done in our business. But if you're doing something, then it matters. It moves the needle forward. So just stay consistent. You're going to see all of those dreams in the comments. Those are going to happen, you guys. You got this. Just keep going. Time's going to pass anyway. So just keep learning. Be coachable, like Tab said. Be consistent. So I love you all. Thank you so much for hopping on. Have a great night, and we will see you all later.